Even though housing construction is hovering at near record levels, prices remain out of reach for many. And that's why Ottawa is looking to turn to another possible solution: prefabricated homes. Now, these are homes or pieces of homes that are made in a factory, then shipped by truck, put together. Proponents say the method allows for faster turnaround than traditional construction. So for a closer look at this is Matty Mediwake. He's the director of the Infrastructure Institute at the University of Toronto. Great to have you back.
Thanks. Good morning.
This is part of a fulfillment of the federal government's plan. During the election, they pledged to provide $26 billion to the prefab home sector, boasting that it does all those things. It reduces construction times and costs and emissions. How much of a difference are we talking when it comes to those factors? Like, if you can give us a comparison of a traditional build versus a prefab build.
Well, there's a lot of debate and discussion about how much of a difference this actually makes, modular construction. Some of the figures show that it's about half the time to build and could be as much as 20% less in cost. But what we're finding on sites when developers get going, at least at the moment, is that they are faster, but the costs are about the same, if not even a little bit higher, depending on the deliveries and all the transportation costs associated with these big pieces of equipment to move the homes around, to move these models around and then crane them into place. So it's really not totally clear yet how much of a cost saving, but it is much quicker.
Mattamy Homes, which is an Ontario-based company, unveiled plans in June for a prefab housing firm. A second prefab company, Assembly Core, is also looking to outfit factories with the latest high-tech robotics. Listen, the industry is moving in the direction of this becoming in demand. Can you talk to us about the quality of constructions? I think people, if they have traditionally thought of prefab homes, think of maybe something that they'd see in a trailer court, but they've come a long way and are often like a build of choice for people who are in cottage country, for example.
They have come a long way, and if you look in places like Sweden, where much a higher percentage of the housing is built through modular construction, the designs are quite lovely. And I think this is what's going to be so important here. High quality to begin with. People demand quality in their housing, and then also design that these are lovely places to live, that there's joy, that there's quality in how the design is thought out. That's really important. People buy homes and rent homes both with their head and with their heart. This is where they're going to spend all of their time, and they want to be in a place that's well built, that doesn't feel flimsy, but also has some joy, some flair, and really feels like it was thought out how it was built.
Prefabricated homes, we know, picked up momentum as far back as the 18th century, but they have failed to become widespread despite many advancements and some of the things that you mentioned. Why is that?
Well, the field is littered with companies that thought that modular construction was going to pick up, and it never quite did. There have been a number of bankruptcies, including just recently here in Canada. This is a hard field. Housing is a boom-bust industry, but when it comes to factories, you need that factory chugging along, cranking out product all the time in order to keep it active. It's really capital intensive, and so housing can be a challenge. And then also the transportation and delivery of moving these onto site in big, busy areas in Canadian cities that are struggling with congestion. That has also not been easy. And then there's regulations that make some of these homes hard to build and hard to reproduce at scale. So there have been challenges in the past, but governments are looking now to strip away those barriers and make this really the mode of choice, because they see it as faster and ultimately bringing down costs over time.
And they are touting this as a made-in-Canada solution at a time when that is what people are looking for. How much potential do homes like these have in terms of providing a solution to the ongoing housing crisis? Because it's not just affordable housing that is missing from the marketplace. It's deeply affordable housing as well.
That's right. And many of the nonprofits that are building deeply affordable housing are looking to modular solutions, but this industry will really need to scale up. If you take the Mattamy example, they're looking at building 3,000 homes in that facility. So we would need 160 of these plants in order to build 500,000 homes per year, which is what the government is targeting. This is a huge lift. This is a big transformation. Industries change slowly. They're risk averse, but this will be really important. And government support is going to be required if there's going to be the change and if there's going to be the market demand over time in order to enable modular housing to fill some of the gaps, to bring down costs, to drive quality, and to provide Canadians with affordable places to live.
The other question, big question, Matty, is where do you put them? Because the biggest need is in cities, and there's just not the space. That's part of what's driving up the cost of housing to begin with. So you may have them, but where are you going to put them?
There's actually a lot of land in our cities. If you look, it's often referred to as lazy land. This could be government-owned parking lots. This could be rec centers or libraries that have land around them. This could be shopping malls that have giant parking lots. There's actually quite a bit of land. We need to be building upwards. And interestingly, modular housing at the beginning was often for low-density single-family homes, and increasingly it's being used for multi-family homes, especially mid-rise types of developments where you can stack the modules on top of each other or build with panels. So there actually are a lot of opportunities for modular homes to be used for infill, but really we have to overcome some of the challenges that the industry has faced if we're going to enable this to be a solution at scale.
I'm fascinated to look at all the solutions being offered. This one is no exception. Director of Infrastructure Institute at the University of Toronto, Maddie Mediwake, always great to have you here. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.